You've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Iyanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Okay.
Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well. I would date a bus.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. That is the name of the Heavenly Father. He is, He exists, He is to be. By Hashem, that is to say, in the name, Yahweh Shai. That's who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And from the clip that I just started this lesson off with, would you date a bus driver? You could see the pride in Eve, how dating somebody who has a regular 9 to 5 and is providing is not good enough for her. You know? Now she recants and goes back on her statement in a later interview and says how she was talking about uplifting the black man, you know, to want to strive to obtain the best. But as you can see clearly in this clip on this interview, before she went back and recanted on her statement, that she clearly said she dated across the spectrum, you know, different races and different ages. She never in this interview once said that she was referring to the black man in particular. But after the backlash she received, you know, she went back and recanted and tried to put it together to make it seem like she's talking about building, you know, black, you know, unity for the man and the woman. But no, she knows she was talking about you know, belittling the man. You know, it's not good enough for her because in her mind, you know, she's perceived as someone that's on a higher status in this society, and she deserves somebody just as equal, or if not equal, than her. And what she fails to realize is Esau Edom has gave her that false sense of security, you know, and that's going to be the downfall of the black woman. You know, Eve, you know, she got that prideful spirit, cause Esau Edom done, you know, the devil done gave her a few, you know, trinkets, you know. In this world, she's put on a high status, you know, and we're gonna get some scriptures bringing this out, and then we're gonna get another video showing, you know, just how cold the Most High can be, because you can ask for somebody who owns the bus in reference to, you know, making a lot of money, although she said that's not what she was talking about later on in another interview regarding this interview, but that's what she was referring to. So we're gonna play a video and we're gonna show you just how cold the Most High can be. You see? Because her saying that she wouldn't date a bus driver is like her saying that's beneath her. But if that bus driver is part of the elect, that's gonna be the one, no matter if the bus driver drives the bus, or the person drives the bus, or if he owns the bus. You see? And this is the downfall of the so-called modern day woman, man. But when all hell breaks loose, that's going to go out the door. She going to be looking for somebody that can protect her ass, man. You see? But it's going to be hard to find. You know, because she know what's going on. You know? And not just her, she's a representation of women across the board that think like her. You know, because they got high status in this society that they think, you know, that means something. So now it's beneath her to even want to think about dating somebody who drives a bus, making, you know, close to or right at minimum wage, while she can sit in her palatial estate, you know, drinking her wine and whatnot from her career, in parentheses, that Esau Edom has gave her. You know, whatever it is that she does for a living, you know, whether that's a talk host show or whatever, a provocateur, like she said later on in one of her interviews. You know, Esau Edom has gave her that false sense of security. And by her, I'm talking about women in general, because most women of today have that haughty spirit. Okay? And the other lady said as long as she loves him, you know, she would be fine with him dating a bus driver. But that's, in essence, a lie in itself, too. Because if that man said he drove the bus and he made enough to provide for her and another woman, and it was done decently in order, she would feel some type of way, too, because she want the man to give her his undivided attention. You see, the women here in Babylon Great has been fed that Disney princess, you know, spirit, where the man should, you know, devote his whole time and resource to her alone, as to put her on a pedestal or a status of a goddess or a queen. And that's the mindset that the modern day women have. You know, so you have both, in essence, telling on each other. You know, and you can take that to the bank because it's written in prophecy. So you got one that's saying she wouldn't date the bus driver because of his status, and then you got one saying that she would date the bus driver as long as he would devote all his time and energy to her and love her. See, and that's what that love doctrine to get you, man. And you put the woman above the Most High, you're gonna be doomed anywhere you go. Okay? So like I said, we played this clip, and then we're gonna get another video of someone of high stature, and we're gonna take it from there, because the Most High, well, we're gonna go into the scriptures and get it themselves. So this is Proverbs 16 and verse 18, and it reads, "Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." And you seeing majority of these women in today's society possessing that prideful spirit, that haughty spirit and pride. And what they don't know, we in these last days, you know, and we getting ready to fully be dead center in Jacob's trouble, you know, and all these things that Esau Edom has gave them ain't gonna mean nothing once all hell breaks loose, you know. And in that second video, I'm going to give you a scenario where something like that could happen during Jacob's trouble. You know, and all that, oh, if he owns the bus, or if he's a bus driver and he loves me, you know, I would deal with him. No, you're going to be clamoring to find a man of the Lord in that day. Whether he's a bus driver or whether he owns the bus. If he's a man of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, you're going to be clamoring to find him. Okay? So right now you could talk all that if he owns the bus and not a bus driver, or if he's a bus driver and he loves me, you know, you can talk all that because it's good right now. Things ain't really gotten to where they are uncomfortable for the woman. You see, Edom has gave the woman a comfortable society. Here in Babylon, she's pampered and catered to. But once he start taking back some of his, some of his perks, and she has to really get it on her own, then that's when she's gonna be looking for that man. Okay? Whether he's a bus driver or whether he owns the bus. And that's why majority of the 2/3 here gonna be judges, gonna be women, because they're not gonna be able to deal with the ability of having things, given to them and being comfortable. They're gonna go out and take that mark so that they can continue to live in their lifestyle that was given to them by the serpent, Esau, Edom. See, they go back as far as the garden, where Eve and the serpent came into compliance. And because Adam didn't obey the Most High, he fell victim to the woman. And the serpent represents the nation of Edom, the deceiver, the devil. Okay, so this is Proverbs 16 and 18. And it reads, "Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." And that's the vibration of the modern day woman, man. She has a very prideful spirit, and she's haughty. You can see it in her, and why wouldn't she? That's part of the curses. But she don't know she don't know she under the curses, because she's been given so much that she can't get her head out the clouds and see. And I'm pretty sure she came across videos of the prophets and servants telling, preaching the word and putting it out there that we under the curses, and this is who we are as a people, as a nation, but it didn't sit right with her spirit because it's haughty. She don't want to be quiet and obedient. She don't want order as being under the man, especially if he's just a bus driver in this society. That's looked upon and frowned upon. Or in the other spectrum, if in the truth, in the word, a man can have more than one woman, long as it's done decently in order, then that can't sit right with her either, because she has to be the center of attention. You see? And both of these doctrines are hand delivered and given to by the serpent, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. That's why very few of our sisters is going to be called out of this. Most are going to stay and go down with Babylon here in America. I said most, so there's a slight chance that some of our sisters going to get it, but for the most part, 2/3 is going to be mostly women made of that 2/3, and men that follow after those women. So let's go to Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. And it reads, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." You see? So the elect is going to have that hedge over them, and they're going to be saved out of that time, which is like none other, which is Jacob's trouble. When all hell is going to break loose and you're gonna need that hedge of the angel encamping and surrounding you. You know, and if you a woman, you're gonna have to be under the hedge of that man, of the elect. Whether he's a bus driver or whether he owns the bus, if he's not part of that elect, when all hell break loose and you out there on your own, like I said, we got a scenario coming for you in the second video that we gonna play. Because be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he reapeth. That goes for women as well. So she said she wants somebody who, you know, owns the bus, as in regards to having a higher status in this society, which in reference means that they pull in or bring in more money than the average person that works a 9 to 5, you know, that holds down the fort and, you know, can provide. But in this society, Esau Edom has stripped that away and given liberation or freedom to the woman. So now in her mind, she don't need a man. A man is something that she can, you know, take or leave. As she said, she done went across the spectrum of color and age. So how many men have she dealt with? See, this is why this place has to be judged, man. Because the iniquity is stacking on top of iniquity, sin upon sin. Okay, you got our women sleeping around, you know, testing out the waters, as they say, you know, and I understand in your ignorance, but if you coming into the truth and the knowledge and you still doing that, then that's gonna cost you, you know. You're gonna be marked in that day. Okay? But the fact that she said it let you know. She done got around in the past. So now in her mind, she's elevated to a higher status because she done dealt with some men who she said, you know, is of the different races and different ages, telling you that what? She been, you know, she been exposed to different, you know, things. So it says, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. And there's not going to be any time that you can look back in the past that can measure to what's coming, that's what's coming around the corner. So the video that I show you, although it's going to seem somewhat disturbing, it's going to pale in comparison to when Jacob's trouble is in its fullness. So you women out there with that pride and that haughty spirit, you know, okay, keep in that spirit once all hell breaks loose, man. So let's go to Isaiah 13 in verse 12, and it reads, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. And what type of man is he talking about and referring to? He's talking about a man of Israel, and then out of that man of Israel, he's talking about the elect. So you see, a man of the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, is going to be finer than, you know, even gold. And that gold represents the high status, you know. So that bus owner, this man of the elect is going to be more precious than that. Or, as she said, any man of the spectrum that she done deal with, from color to age. You know, if that man wasn't part of the elect, you know, she ain't gonna be protected in that day. And it tells us that. Let's go there and read that. Isaiah 4 and verse 1. And it reads, and in that day, what day? We just read it in Jeremiah 30. Jacob's trouble. In that day, 7 women should take hold of one man. You see? And on the other spectrum, that woman that says she would date the bus driver as long as he loved her, you know, that ideology is going to be thrown out the window too. Letting you know that self-centered ego, that prideful spirit, that haughty spirit, that's going to be thrown out. And it says, in that day, 7 women should take hold of one man. Now that number 7 represents completion. That could be one woman, or that could be multiple women. But it's whatever that man see fits that's following the word of the Most High, Yahweh. Bahashem, in the name Yahweh Shai, his only begotten son, who the word English calls Jesus. So it says, in that day, 7 women should take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So what is it letting you know? That when that day comes, that the women that's going to be in that day are going to have had liberation, because they're going to have been able to take care of themselves. They're going to be able to have eaten their own bread and wear their own apparel. Why? Because that was part of the curse. We're going to get that curse in Deuteronomy. But you see, you're going to have a portion of our women, a very small portion, that's going to, you know, come to their senses and going to want to be taking that reproach away, that shame. Because a woman should have a woman should be shamefaced, man. But with that haughty spirit and that pride, that essence has been stripped from them. Now they're loudmouth, opinionated, you know, talk out of order, you know. And this is, you know, this is not their fault. It's they under the curses with us as well. But when given the knowledge and they refuse to accept it, that's where the issue lies at. And let's go there and come back here. Let's read that in Proverbs 1. And let's start at verse 22. And it reads, how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. See, when the truth coming out and telling them that they need to turn from their wicked ways, you know, and be submissive to the man, be submissive to their man, and that a man can have more than one woman, you know, this didn't sit right with their spirit. So it says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. So you can best believe that both of them women have came across a video that's showing the service of the Most High, teaching and preaching, but it didn't sit right with them in their current status that they have in this society, so they didn't take time to really go in and see what was going about, because in their mind, and you could tell they probably under that Christian vibration, you know, the man take care of the woman, the one woman, he can't have any other woman, because that's looked upon as adultery. Well, that's not what the words say. A man can have more than one woman as long as that woman isn't taken by another man. On the other spectrum of, you know, Christianity, the one woman who says she will only date the bus driver is because she believes her savior is Jesus and he's going to deliver her and she's been saved. You know, this is the vibration that the Christianity, you know, church gives to the women. That's why most of the people that you see in these churches now are women, you know. But going back to the scriptures, this is 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you, because I have called and ye refuse. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. And that you could put under the bracket of man, woman as well. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And like I said, we're gonna get into it on that second video, you know. Cause like I said, we can go there and get that in Galatians, and then we come back and finish off this chapter. Galatians 6 and verse 7, and it reads, Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, and under that umbrella of man you have women that fall under that, that shall he also reap. So, like I said, in this second scenario or this second video that I'm gonna play for you, you're gonna see that this woman, you know, she could have had a haughty spirit or very much pride, you know, prideful because of this man's status, and fell victim, you know, and had that same type of mindset as the first woman in the video that we played here and started off with, that she only would date the bus owner, not the bus driver. Okay? So it says, Be not deceived, the Most High Yahweh is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Now back to Proverbs 1, and let's pick up where we left off at. Proverbs 1 and 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. So don't think the Most High ain't cold and he don't, you know, sit back and say, okay, you gonna eat your words. Because then you gotta remember, in this Christianity mindset that most of these women are under, they think that the Most High, who they call God, is just all lovey-dovey. He doesn't have that, you know, side of balance. When you have love and hate, you know, that's the mindset of the modern day Christian woman. And most of our women is in that mindset. That's why they're not going to be able to receive this truth. But for the ones that have been appointed, the very few, you know, y'all going to receive it and repent and turn from y'all ways. So when all hell break loose, you're going to be guided to a man of the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, one of the elect, and you're gonna receive salvation through him, and he's gonna receive it through Yahweh Shah. You see, you're not gonna be able to go to Yahweh Shah straight by yourself without having a man. That's like the man being able to go to Yahweh without going through Yahweh Shah. There's order and structure put into place. But see, you don't know that because you've been given that haughty spirit and that pride. And mostly that's been under the tutelage of the Christianity church. So it says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. Pride goeth before the fall, and a haughty spirit before, you know, destruction. That's that reference to Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. You know, and once we go into that thing full speed, it's going to be too late. Famine of the word going to have to take place. You're going to have to know what all you have. And if you don't, you know, repent while you got that time now, you might not be, you know, lucky enough, or should I say eligible enough, to come across a man of the Most High. You might be out there to defend for yourself. And like I reiterate and said again, we got a scenario where we're going to go into it in the second clip or the video that I'm going to play for you. So it says, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh. That's right, because they had that haughty spirit and that pride. You know, that I'm only going to date the bus owner pride, or I date the bus driver as long as he loves me. But if you ask her, would you date the bus driver if he loves you and 4 other women? Nah, I'm not going to do that. See, then the truth nature of her will reveal itself, you know, because it's all good long as she got that man's, you know, soul divided attention, yeah. But if he had to split it amongst her and 5 other women, then in her mind that would be a problem, you see. And that's the vibration that they under, you know. And that's because they been marked, man, and they're not gonna receive that knowledge, that truth, you know. So when it says in Isaiah 4:1, and in that day 7 women should take hold of 1 man, most women probably don't even like this scripture because of that right there. But they don't know that word 7 represents completion. That can be 1 man that could be 1 woman if that man so chooses, or that could be multiple women if that man so chooses. You see, but the spirit that they have that was given to them by this serpent, Esau Edom, got them under the mindset that, hey, I can't share my man. I can't share my man with nobody, no other woman. But that spirit gonna go out the window once all hell break loose, you know. So when we read that in Isaiah 13, in verse 12, where it reads, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir, you're gonna see that man is speaking of, is talking about the elect. And let's go into another scripture and get that. All right, we here in Ecclesiasticus, are also known as Sirach, and this is in regard to the elect. You know, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a wedge of Ophir. This is Sirach 2, and let's just read a couple of verses out of here. And this is verse 1, and it reads, My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. See, this is in reference to a man of the Most High. He's talking about his elect. It reads verse 3, Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. You know, so if we endure to the end, you know, we praying that the Most High is going to take care of us through that, you know, hour of temptation, through that time of calamity, like it's never been seen on the face of the earth, which is known as Jacob's trouble. So it says, verse 4, Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower estate. And we know that the woman was put above, you know, the man. You know, that's part of the curses, and we're going to get that. You know, we know that's part of that, so we don't take it as an insult, because we know in this truth, you know, wisdom and knowledge to be the stability of our times. We understand that. We understand that the woman on this side is not on our side. We understand, for the most part, the woman on this side is not on our side. Meaning that in this kingdom, this man's kingdom, the black woman is not on the side of the Israelite man, the elect. Because they are in total opposition of each other. You know? So we understand that. But we'll take it as a teaching lesson to bring it out for the few women that may be part of that innumerable number that may have mercy, you know, to keep them to endure. But for the most part, we understand that the woman on this side is not on our side. So let's read that again, verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Because we know that after this lower state, we got next, man. We're going to be put under Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and we're going to be reverenced as men of might, you know, through Yahweh Shai. Here it is, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. And that acceptable man is referring to the man of the Most High, the elect. Okay? It's not talking about your average worker the mill man. Even if he works a 9 to 5, if he's not part of the elect, then he ain't gonna receive that salvation. Okay, so that's the point she missed. If that man owns the bus and he's the elect, okay, she gonna receive salvation. If that man owns the bus and not part of the elect, then it don't matter. The Most High is not mocked. You know, he can make it. He can make you eat your words. You know. So let's go to Jeremiah 30 and verse. This is Jeremiah 31, excuse me, in verse 22, and it reads, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man." That's why we read in Isaiah 4 that she say that they're going to say, let us, you know, we should eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be taken by your name to take away our reproach. Because you're going to have that small remnant of women that understand what's going on. And even though they were given these things by Esau Edom, they don't have that haughty and prideful spirit, man. You see? But like I said, that's very few and little though. So it says, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man." And that was part of the curse. Let's go there and read that. It's Deuteronomy 28 and verse 56. And it reads, "The tender and delicate women among you," and this is referring to the Israelite woman, "which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye should be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter." So you can see initially she wasn't even supposed to be out there working. Okay? She was supposed to be tender and delicate, but what? Through the liberation and the feminine movement, it brought her into the working, the working world, the working force, and she began to get that haughty and prideful spirit put on her. And that was all designed and put together, through Esau Edom, but it was put together by the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, for our disobedience to him. Because the men, we went a whoring and backsliding, and that's how cold the Most High is. He made us, he made us eat our own words. He mocked us by giving us women that, went a whoring and backsliding, But we repented and came out. That's why I said, a very small portion of women will, just like a very small portion of men did. You see? So we can't, fault you, because we was under the same spirit and pride as the woman. But when we were shown our errors in our ways, we turned back from them when we repented. You see? So we understand what's going on. So we understand that a woman should compass a man, and we understand why. So we use this as a teaching lesson for those women, who might be showed mercy upon, so they can endure it, and they don't be caught in this sidebar between two seemingly different opinions, but the same, spectrum. So it says, Deuteronomy 28 and 56, "The tender and delicate women among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness," she wouldn't set her foot, she wouldn't go out there and work. She was content with holding down, being a woman and staying at home and taking care of the children. But now that's frowned upon in this society. If a woman want to stay home, look after the kids, or the children, and do the thing of a woman. Nah, you gonna be laughed at and made shame of. Oh, you young girl, why you staying at home taking care of that man's children? You got your own thing going on. You a liberated woman, you a independent woman, you got your own money. You know, why you listen to what he say? You know, this is the vibration that's put on our women today. You know, this is why they go out a whoring and, you know, expressing they, you know, feelings by sleeping with different men, taking on those different spirits. You know, but hey, if that's part of your lot, that's part of your lot. You know. So it says, her eye should be evil toward the husband of her bosom. That's why you can see her say that, hey, I wouldn't date a man if he was a bus driver. Now, if he owned a bus, then I would date him. Because she looked down upon that man that's a bus driver. And the other woman said that she would date a bus driver as long as he would love her. But now put into equation, what if he loved you with 4 or 5 or 6 other women? Now she has a problem. Okay, we understand that. All right. So that's in reference to Jeremiah 31:22, where it says the woman shall surpass a man, because that was part of the curse that the Most High was going to bring and put on the man here in this day and time. That's a new thing. This wasn't this thing back in the days. You couldn't see this whole women liberation thing. Yeah, that was unheard of. But this is a new thing that the Most High have put upon us. Let you know that this word is the truth, man. All right. So, with that being said, let's go get the video that I was speaking of and talking about earlier in this lesson.
Tonight, a doctor in Queens stands accused of doing the unthinkable, drugging and raping unconscious patients, and in some cases, filming it. The doctor is Z. Allen Chang at New York Presbyterian Hospital. Tonight, law enforcement officials want to know if there could be more victims. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger.
At the most vulnerable time in their lives, young women checked into the hospital and, prosecutors say, became targets of a predator in a white coat.
He's obviously traumatized.
Attorney Nicholas Liakis represents a 19-year-old woman who prosecutors say was drugged through her IV and raped by her New York Presbyterian gastroenterologist, Ji Allen Chang, who allegedly recorded the assault on his phone.
Having to go to the district attorney's office and see a video of yourself unconscious getting assaulted after being drugged is, that's unimaginable to deal with.
And she isn't alone.
People go into a hospital, they need help, they need assistance, they need to be able to trust their doctors.
Queens prosecutors indicted Cheng today on 50 counts, including rape, sexual abuse and assault, and unlawful surveillance, stemming from interactions memorialized in dozens of videos on his phone's camera roll. Some of the assaults on unsuspecting patients at the Flushing Hospital where he worked, some in his Astoria home, and even in hotel rooms as far away as Thailand. The investigation began last year when a woman accused Cheng of rape. Detectives searched his phone and found evidence of many more victims.
It's always difficult when you find, when anyone is a victim, it is always difficult. But to find out after the fact, some might have known, some might have had a feeling, some had no idea.
New York Presbyterian fired Cheng on the spot when he was first arrested. Today, the hospital described its responsibility to its patients as a sacred trust. The crimes committed by this individual are heinous, despicable, and a fundamental betrayal of our mission, a hospital spokesperson said in a statement. The hospital adding it's been fully cooperating with authorities. Prosecutors have charged Cheng in connection with 6 victims, but they said they have video evidence from his phone of as many as 6 other victims they still haven't been able to identify.
Well, there you have it. It don't get no more prestigious and of higher stature than a doctor, and even though they said that he was doing that at the hospital, they also reiterated that he had done it at his house and at hotels across the world in Taiwan. So what would a person or a patient need to go to somebody's house to have a procedure done to them if it wasn't being done in a controlled environment such as a hospital? See, I can understand if it would have just stopped at the hospital, but no, these women's made, accusations and claims. They found footage of him doing this, untimely deed at his own house. So what that let you know? That, they were taking, or they were at his status, and they trusted in him enough to come to his house and probably do something or perform some type of procedure, and then things went awry, and he probably, using his medical background, probably put some in the drink and had him pass out, and Wayne stuck his thing in him, man. You see? So you looking for that man of high stature, you can find him, but you can find something else to go along with him, So this is Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. It reads, "Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked." I wouldn't date a bus driver, but I date a bus owner. So if you date a bus owner, you damn well date a doctor, thinking that in this society, he's referenced as a man of higher stature, and that's what you're looking for. It ain't about how you said in your second interview or your recanting of this interview that you looking to build black unity, black family, because you said you dated men on the color spectrum and on the age. But then after the backlash, you tried to go back and clean it up, saying you're trying to reference that in regards to, uplifting the black man so you can build, a black family, But it's all fine and dandy. We get it. So this is Galatians 6 and 7, one more time. "Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked." Be careful what you say. You want that, looking for that man of higher stature, you can find it, but at what cost? And this is just a simple incident. Imagine once Jacob's trouble is fully put into place. And you women out there that's posing on the internet and don't think that you being tracked and traced and you don't need a man, and you putting those provocative pictures, and you got that haughty spirit, that prideful spirit, once all hell breaks loose and there's no one to run to, and you can't, provide that protection for yourself, you gonna eat them words, man. This is just an example of this. The Most High is cold, man. He can set up some cold scenarios where you wouldn't see it coming from a mile away. A ring at the door. You done order something to eat from Uber or DoorDash or whatever. Now you done found yourself passed out, unconscious, and you might not wake up. You see? Be careful what you ask for, man. You asking for a man of, high stature, pray you part of that number where you can receive a man of the elect. So when all hell breaks loose, you will be, have that hedge around you. When I say pray that you better pray for a man of the elect, I mean hope that you part of that numeral number. Okay? And what do? You try to stay in these commandments to the best of your ability. You take heed what the servants and the word that's coming out tells you to. You endure. You don't be tossed to and from by every doctrine, So yeah, would you date a bus driver? Probably not, because your status has been propped up in this society where you can take care of yourself and you don't really need a man to really contribute unless they're going to put you on that queen status. That's why a lot of women talking about I'm celibate, I ain't getting married, I ain't giving it up till I marry. I find somebody to marry. Meanwhile, they done slept with 50 different men. Now all of a sudden, they getting up in age. Now they want to, try to settle down per se, and want the man to comply to Esau's Edom marriage, and devote their whole life spending, catering to them. Because like I said, if a woman knew that a man of stature, not of this society, but of the Most High, could have more than one woman, she would flip out. That's the ultimate true testament. A woman might say, I got you a new car for your birthday, babe. But if you said, hey, what do you say I add on to the legacy and have another woman? She would lose her mind. And this is a woman that claimed to be, righteous. She would lose her mind. She couldn't bear the thought of you showing your attention and giving it to somebody else, yet alone you being in this truth and devoting your time and effort to serving the Most High, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. It's okay if she can have you outside of that, but if you said, hey, what about having another woman, and you dealing with that other woman in order, and that other woman is not already given to another man, she wouldn't accept that. She would rather buy you a $60,000 car than to let you have another woman. And this is that haughty spirit. They can they can have that right now, because once Jacob's trouble come, that's gonna be all thrown out the window. That's what we read in Isaiah 4:1. You see? So yeah, they can talk a good game right now because ain't nothing really popped off. Ain't nothing really, transpired that would say times, bad times are at hand. But once all, excuse the language, all shit, when the shit hits the fan, then we gonna see. So you brothers, be careful out there, man. These women got secret agendas. And you women, we understand. We know you are under the vibration of the serpent. We know it goes far back as the garden, where the serpent and the Eve made a bond that they would take that the serpent would give that apple to Eve and she would bite it, representing, taking the ideology of the serpent and running with it and trying to pass it off to, Adam, who followed right after the woman and disobeyed the Most High and therefore was punished as well. Okay? So we understand these things, but we try to keep in the spirit, and help the elect and the innumerable number enduring to the end. So when we see something, we bring it out. So you don't fall, victim to his doctrines and be tossed to and fro. Okay. So yeah, would you date a bus owner, or would you date a bus driver? Because you sure enough would date a bus. You sure enough would date a doctor if you would date a bus owner. So let's go ahead and close out. Let's take it from there. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, and it reads, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour." And he's got just about as many as he can on this side as he gonna get, and majority of them is the women. Now he know if he can get the woman to follow after him like he did in the garden, then he can get the man to follow after the woman. You see? So he playing on, he playing on both sides. the man and the women. And that's why you have to be sober and be vigilant and know the type of women you're dealing with. Because ultimately, the Most High gives a righteous woman to a righteous man and a wicked woman to a wicked man. You know, so be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walk up about seeking whom he may devour. And if he can get you to follow after the woman by giving the woman these perks and benefits, you know, and putting and perking her up and making her think that she's all that, when in actuality she's nothing without the guidance and tutelage of a man of the Most High, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, then he gonna get as many as them as he can to get you. Okay? It's just that simple. He ain't playing fair. If giving the woman perks and benefit and perking her up to make her think that she don't need a bus driver in reference to the man of the elect, and as opposed need the bus owner as reference to a man of this world of high stature, aka a doctor, then he gonna play on that, you know, he gonna play on that role. You know, so you see these women that's talking all this, talking all that, that's because they've been given that apple by the serpent. They've been given that liberation, that freedom, that independency. Also, they believe that. But they've been marked for that day of that day of trouble, which is like none other. And they gonna run and clamor after this man device. And you gonna run and clamor after them. So he like I said, he playing on both sides, the man and the women. Okay? So hopefully somebody, you know, took something from that. And if it be the Lord's will until the next time, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom.